So Revolut has secured a full banking license in France, approved by French regulators and the ECB. It comes just a year after European supervisors reportedly restricted new product launches, while Revolut strengthened its governance, risk, and compliance controls. Revolut now has around 30 million customers across Western Europe and is investing more than 1 billion euros in the region, including a new Paris HQ. The French bank will serve France first, then expand into Germany, Ireland, Italy, Portugal, and Spain, alongside Revolut's Lithuanian bank. Now, Veronica, I always feel like you're sort of our resident expert maybe on all things Revolut, so I'm certainly keen to get your reaction to this one.
Yeah, I don't know how I earned myself the title of a Revolut correspondent, but I think maybe a bit of an unhealthy obsession with them. I think one of the main reasons that they really chose France is, other than the very sophisticated financial services market that France has historically had, I mean, that really points to a lot of where their roadmap is going to go with asset management, mortgages, and that expansion into Southern Europe actually also further points to that. But France is, I think, just a bigger signal. It's not just the location, because Revolut is essentially rocking up to the ECB and saying, we've parked $1.2 billion of investment here. We have 7 million customers here. We've got this HQ here. And so that's not really an application for a banking license. That's a full statement of intent for where their roadmap is going to go. And a nod to, again, how sophisticated that French regulatory system really is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And Phoebe, I think one thing that's sort of apparent, sounds weird even just to say it out loud, but I don't think you could ever accuse Revolut of a lack of ambition, shall we say?
No, I think there's what mere mortals would class as impossible, and it's just their casual next 3 to 6 month roadmap. Their growth has been astronomical, and getting one bank license was hard enough from my perspective with Griffin, but they're pushing. And if you look at their numbers, that growth is truly insane. And I think there's this narrative around them being a challenger. They're not a challenger. They're also not really an incumbent, right? They are the new wave of banking to a mass market. It's the tech and user experience that people want. And I think every challenger bank would, like, those are the numbers that you're going after, but they've actually achieved it across a fairly complex regulatory environment. It's hugely impressive.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It almost feels like we've lost all sense of perspective as it comes to the sort of growth and everything that surrounds Revolut. To your point, they're absolutely not a challenger. I think, they're saying around about $115 billion valuation off the back of their most recent secondary share sale, which puts it, above the market cap of what we would consider to be some of the largest global banks in the world. But Tom, the point that Phoebe made, and I think we called it out in the body of the story as well, is it doesn't seem all that long ago that there were, this sort of narrative centered around maybe the compliance and the regulatory rigor, and maybe that being a bit of a blocker to some of the momentum that we're now seeing from Revolut. So that in itself is kind of an interesting change.
It is, but we know that once you become a banking group in the UK, the PRA is likely to impose some sort of group oversight. So, following their exit from the mobilization phase, we know that they have now become more accustomed to meeting those obligations. And given the PRA is one of the best regarded regulators globally, that level of scrutiny they'll be under the ECB and the French Central Bank will not be new to them in some regards, right? And so I think all of the work they've done on that front to be taken seriously in the UK has set them up for this level of success. And it's clear, as Veronica touched on, that France has become their biggest market in Europe in terms of retail banking. And so you can understand why the central bank there has kind of encouraged this move towards more local regulation, and that combined with the commitments they've made has meant that the political support, I think, has led to I believe 15 months it's taken them to get this. So everything kind of aligned for them in terms of what they've demonstrated in their capacity to meet these obligations, the political support, and then I think the encouragement from the local regulator. So it's certainly impressive, but it's not a surprise.